All right. Hello there. This is Chris Wiley from Championship Chess. Today, I wanted to show you a very neat little checkmate. Okay? It's called a smothered checkmate. I know it sounds very strange, and you're probably wondering, well, how the heck do you do that? Well, what's going to end up happening at the end of this puzzle is the king is going to be stuck in the corner and he's going to have nowhere to go, and he's going to be checkmated. And there's a certain way to do it. It is a step process, okay, that you have to do. Okay? So let's go in and get started. And I wanted to first explain a little something before I actually do the exact move. When you are trying to figure out aggressive moves or tactical moves or threatening checkmate moves, first thing you always have to do is make sure that your opponent can't do anything, especially if moves you're doing isn't checking the king. For example, if I were to move my white queen to the h5 square, okay, threatening the h7 pawn or threatening to go to f7, very nice moves. However, what I have missed is that black's rook on a8 can come all the way down the board to a1 and do what's called a back rank checkmate. Okay? And that just speaks for itself. I mean, the back rank, as you guys know, the numbers 1 through 8 on your chessboard are the rank, and the letters A through H are the files. So if the rook goes all the way to the very back, that is the back rank, okay? And that would be checkmate. So you don't want that to happen, obviously. So keep that in mind every time you're trying to figure out the moves here, is that they kind of all have to be forced, or else you're going to have to deal with that back rank checkmate. Well, here we go. So first thing we want to look for is obviously a check. Okay? So the first check we're going to look at, obviously, is with the queen. And I see a nice little check right up here on e6. Okay? Now, if the king goes over to f8, well, this is an easy one. Now we just move our queen up to f7, and the knight protects the queen. That's an easy checkmate. So I don't think they're going to make it that easy for us. So the king's going to go over to h8. All right? So now what? Keep in mind, too, that if we make some kind of slip, that rook on a8 can come all the way down. So what can we do? Well, to me, the most forcing thing looks like another check. Well, it looks like this knight can give check on f7. All right? And, well, the king is forced to respond by going back to g8. Now, a mistake, believe it or not, even though it looks very tempting, trust me, I used to do it too, so it looks very tempting to just want to take this rook because, hey, first of all, it's double check. We get the rook, yes, but you actually, it would take a lot longer to do it this route than to do the correct move, okay? It's this next move that's pretty neat, all right? So let's go back to it. Now, don't get me wrong. In some cases, this would be the most appropriate move, okay? But in this little pattern here, watch this, okay? So we have the king goes to g8. Now we're going to do what's called a double check, okay? And it's actually a discovery. So it's actually two very, very powerful checks. Now, the thing with double check, what to remember why, in my mind, it's the most powerful tactic, is because the king is forced to move. So there's a lot of power in that double check. And the way to give a double check is by moving the knight over to h6. Okay, and we see that the knight is checking the king and the queen on e6 is checking the king. And again, if the king happens to slide over to f8, well, we already know that if the knight can help the queen, we're going to go right there and go, well, good game. Thank you very much. Well, the king is not going to make it that easy again. He's like, well, if you just want to keep checking me all day long, fine, I'll call it a draw. Well, he goes over there again. And now comes this beautiful little sacrifice. I say little, it's really not little, but here we go. This is what makes it so fun, this move right here. Watch this move. Queen to g8 check. And you're probably going right now, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Thank you very much for the free queen. Well, there was a reason we gave that queen away. And now comes the smothered part. Okay, maybe you guys can see it. Yes, look at this. Knight to f7 checkmate. The king is smothered in the corner. Okay, so this is a neat little checkmate. Again, if we go all the way back, you know, we first found the check with the queen, okay, and the king had to move, so we give a little check with the knight, the king has to move again, now we look for that double check, all right, and there it is, and the king goes back over, the queen goes all the way up the board, potentially looking like a blunder, but it's not, because once the rook takes, the knight comes over here and it's checkmate. Now, the only thing I want to say about this puzzle is you can't be tricked into, let's just pretend that the rook on d8 is a queen. Okay, this is much different. Watch this. So again, pretending that the rook on d8 is a queen, let's try to do that same tactic. Well, it still works right now. So let's say, again, this is a queen taking. And if we do this knight check right here, well, the queen would be able to just capture the knight, correct? Yes. So it has to be with rooks back here, okay? I remember one time where I tried to do this, and it was a queen, and it didn't quite work. So it has to be the correct situation. But since nothing can take the knight, this is what's called a smothered checkmate. And so always look for those. They're very fun. It is a certain little pattern, as you see. It's about 4 moves, 5 moves total. And it's pretty cool. And the first time you do this against somebody, I can guarantee you, you're probably going to blow their mind because of that queen sacrifice. So good luck with your smothered mates, and we'll talk soon. All right. Bye-bye now.